This meeting is being recorded.
Okay, so I think Xing added the big cap about volume group here. So today we can discuss about this cap. And also we have a number of features we are keep trying to track on 125. So again, the link is on this project. And the last time we tried to go over the list and assign reviewers. And so
Jing, should we talk about the sidecar release first, 1.24? We should wrap that up, right?
Oh, okay. So sorry, I haven't.
Yeah, we probably should go over that one quickly, and I think we put names next to each one.
Sure.
Yeah, we can go over that. So snapshotter is done. That one is already cut. It's no snapshotter. So
okay, then
if you can, yeah. This is the 1.25.
Yeah. Oh, so we are actually the 124.
Yeah, I think the previous one, right? Yeah, this one, sidecar release, right? I think we should wrap this up. Making sure that we.
So the external snapshotter is done.
So there was a we also updated external provisioner. So is that Patrick? Is Patrick? We should check with him. I don't know if there are anything else that are pending there, but at least the changes for snapshotter that already got updated there. So I think that one is done.
Okay.
Check with the Patrick.
And I have a pull request for changelog in the attacher. Once that is merged, then I can release it.
You want to release? Okay, then you can release them. Okay, sure.
Yeah, I just need the review.
Oh yeah, okay, I can review that. Okay, that's the only thing, right? We are not waiting for anything else, right?
No.
Okay, all right. The provisional, right? You're talking about provisional or attacher?
Attacher. I was talking about attacher.
Oh, attacher. Oh, okay. All right. Okay, so provisional, we're still waiting for Patrick. Okay, sure, that's fine.
Yeah, like Patrick is, I don't want to say like gone from storage, but he is busy with SIG instrumentation. So if you need anything, just ping him explicitly.
Okay, sure, yeah. Ping Patrick about that. Yeah. Yeah, no, he's busy with other things now. Okay. Resizer, right? Amand is here.
Yeah, I can. Hello. I think resizer, there isn't any pending changes. We can cut a release. There has been very few changes, to be honest, apart from version bumps is 1.4. So I think I was just looking through the change log and there are just version bumps essentially. But we should probably still release it, right? Because
because we also updated the dependency, so we just release all the side panels. Yeah.
So I thought we have the GA in 124. So
yeah, but it doesn't require any the new external resizer.
Okay. So all the changes in trade kind of.
Yeah.
And
okay.
You were working on the CSI change.
That's for recovery. Recovery will require changes in the external resizer
Okay.
when the recovery goes beat up, but that's for 125, not in.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Sure. Okay. Then external health monitor.
Yeah, I'm waiting. I think Humble has a PR that updates the dependency. I think there's some issues, CI issues, so they're just waiting for that one. Then I can cut it.
Okay. Then Sanctum ratio for doing the node driver registrar and the liveness probe. So Mauricio, any problems here or it's all done?
Yeah, it's all done.
Okay, thank you. Ben is here about volume data source validator.
Ben,
about-
I think the update to 1.24, I believe that's already merged. You can double check.
Yeah, I'm gonna go look right now. I
Okay.
haven't. Last time I checked, there were no outstanding PRs. So
I think I merged something. I don't
Okay.
remember I merged both or just one, but there were PRs there. Yeah.
the lib volume populator, there's no open PR on
It's
volume.
it's merged. Merged.
There's an open PR.
Yeah, I
So
merged
that's-
one. I can take a
Okay.
look. I remember there was a reason that why it was delayed. Oh, I think it was waiting for snapshot or
Okay.
something.
Oh, well,
maybe
it says
then
use snapshotter client v6 in the PR. So
Okay. So if he has,
This-
then we just need to ask him to update that one. Then other than that, I think it's all set.
Yeah.
The other one is already merged.
thank you. Yeah, I'm not getting copied on these, but
Oh, you probably did not. You should get a notification, right? It's the
I need to
Uh,
find a way to subscribe to the repo itself. So any PR
you
comes
don't.
to
You, well, normally. Oh, okay. Maybe you need to subscribe to it then.
I'm sure it's a GitHub setting that I have wrong because I get an
Okay.
obscene amount of
Because
spam
I
from-
remember when I did some
Yeah, you
reviews, we
can-
actually get some emails. I remember some time
You
ago.
can watch the whole repo. It's the
you
icon
can or you
on-
can't.
You can.
Yeah, that's what I figure. And I thought that was set up, but if I'm not getting copied on these messages, then apparently it's not. So I need to do it.
That's weird.
But yes, we'll get these.
Oh, I see
done.
that he has already updated that to 601, which is the latest. So I think we should be good now. Just to see.
Okay. And I see where to set the watches, so I just fixed them. They were not set.
Oh,
so-
okay. I see what you're saying. I just give a look to me. I I leave it there for you to take a look. If you can merge it, but I'll just approve it now. It's all good now. That's why it's not merged. I remember. So I think both are fine now. Just waiting for this data source validator PR to be merged.
Okay, so
So just waiting. Yeah, and then Ben can cut the releases.
okay, and the next one, the CSI test. Anyone responsible for this or?
Need to update for. Do we need that update? CSS Spec version 1.6. Check that one. Not sure. This one not updated for that. Let's see. Go mod. It is already updated to 1.6, so I'm not sure why we have that one.
Maybe it's just a copy paste. If it's already updated to 1.6, then we can remove it. Maybe it's a copy from the previous release.
Okay, I just see there's an automatic thing to update the library, so that we should be fine with those, I think.
Okay,
And right.
done.
Yeah, so we should cut the release for that, I think.
Sorry, it's not cut release done. It's just this part is done. Okay. So right now, no one assigned to it yet.
Let's see.
Before, who was help doing this or?
Patrick released it. I think I also released it before. I can release it, so I can help with this.
Okay. Okay, and then CSI proxy, Marshall, do I need to make a new release? Is there any new changes?
No, there are no changes, and there is no need for any of this.
Okay. The host pass, I'll try to help. And then again, the host pass need to be released to the until
At the end, yeah. So we need to update all the sidecars, right? Yeah.
And so the next one related to CI jobs. This is, we need to manually do it, Marshall, to add some jobs for 124.
I remember that there is a script that generates the CI jobs, but it uses hostpath. So probably this depends on the previous one.
Okay. So after we update host paths, we kind of update that job
Right.
with the newer release.
So then probably we should be running 1.22, right? 22, 23, 24, 3. So we can basically get rid of 1.21 when we
Okay.
update it.
Mhm. So when it's ready, we'll do that. And then the last also need to update the changelog and the CSI docs. Okay, I think that's all. Anything else? Oops, I need to save it. So let's go back to the agenda. Before we talk about the cap, I just want to confirm, like, so seeing about the change, it's not actually remove, it's basically
It's just to remove the support, basically, no longer supported. So yeah, so
observing.
that one is yeah, so that is done. We also added back the V1 beta one by saying not supported, but it's kind of still there. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think just confirm the behavior for customers for their existing volume snapshot, right? They can still work, but they can no longer creating V1 beta API.
Right.
But if they still have some very old V1 beta.
Right, but if they have older ones, they can't really use those. It's there. They have to manually, you know, if those were created like a long time ago before we introduced V1, then those they will have to convert manually.
Yeah, that's yesterday when we talk about this, Michelle is saying the existing should continue to work.
I don't know how the existing one should continue to work because it's not served, right? So
yeah, but they're stored in etcd, and if somebody asks for V1 object, then the API server will convert the V1 beta 1 to V1 and serve V1.
So basically, like for me, my cluster still have an existing V1 beta snapshot
Yes,
objects. I can continue to use them.
The snapshots are there, but you must use V1 API.
For let's say, you must use V1 API. Let's say when we use snapshot, you mean when we use snapshot, let's say create volume?
Yeah, like create volumes, I don't know, list snapshots, delete snapshots. You must use the V1 endpoint. The V1.
Does anyone know why they don't have like a forced upgrade of stuff in etcd at some point?
I don't know. I know there is some pod or container that you can use, and it will like scrap all the objects that you tell it to scrap, and it will automatically convert them in etcd.
Yeah, I mean, all you need to do is just to do a get across all the namespaces and then a put of the objects exactly as they were, and that would upgrade them. Yeah, but like, why does that not happen automatically ever?
So then is there a dot, like at least say what customer need to manually do? I'm still
well, you don't need to manually do anything. You just need to keep
API,
the beta definitions around forever.
Doc, actually, there's a CRD doc talking about what you should do. There was a doc actually.
Oh, is there a link?
On the Kubernetes website, yeah.
But Yang mentioned, right, you need to use V1 endpoint. So what need to be changed?
The problem is, as long as there's stuff in etcd that's not V1, the API server needs to know how to convert it to V1 so that it can be used. And that's why the beta definitions are there, I think. Like, as far as anyone is concerned who's using the API, it's just V1. But as far as the CRD is concerned, you need to have the definition for the beta one still around.
Yeah, it's still around. That's right. I'm just saying, like, say.
But no one ever sees it unless they're actually looking at the CRD for some reason, right? You can't send the API version, you can't receive that API version, it's only hidden inside etcd. So from an end user perspective, it's just v1. But if you go inspect the CRD object, you'll see the v1 beta 1 definition still there, just not served, not stored.
But when you use kubectl get your volume snapshot objects, you see v1 beta definition there or v1. It's still v1 beta, right?
If you get the CRD, not the CRs. The CRs will be v1. The CRD will have both versions because that's what we put there.
So the CR, right, is the volume snapshot objects, which, let's say I created a long time ago, which when I created, I use v1 beta API. And I'm just talking about like whether I can continue to use those objects, snapshot object.
You absolutely
yes,
can.
you can, but you must use the v1. You will get v1. If you do kubectl get, you will get v1 object.
Oh, I see.
And if you have some old YAML file and you want to create a snapshot, then you can create only v1. You can't create v1 beta 1.
I see. So for customer, they really don't need to do anything, right?
Yeah. Well, they need to update their YAML files and applications and everything to use v1, but yeah, that's it.
I see.
We are not deleting any objects. Everything is available.
Okay. Basically, for the existing snapshot objects, right? It's continue to work. It's still there and they continue to work. And as you and Ben mentioned, and the user, when they, let's say, use kubectl get, read it, and they will show as v1. And if they, let's say, patch or update, right, it's against the v1 objects.
Yes.
And but for create new snapshots, yeah, of course, the YAML file, if they have some manifest, they need to update to v1. They can no longer use v1 beta.
Exactly. Just in etcd, it could be stored as v1 beta 1, but nobody can get it out from outside.
Okay. Okay, so let's talk about cap, if this is okay.
Before we go there, you want to quickly go over 1.25, just you know, for people who are working on those. Yeah.
So the review, last time we assigned some of the reviewers, and since some people are here, we can have a quick update. The first one, speed up recursive SE Linux label change. It's any
Jans?
Sorry, looking for the unmute button. I updated my API pull request, and I need to update the gap, apparently. I got some comment from a robot or some person, I don't know, that I need to update to current template. So I will do that soon-ish.
Okay. The next one, introduce node expand secret in CSI PV source.
Yeah, this one is actually done because the code PR was there last. You know, we were trying to get an exception, right? Did not get it, but we already got all the labels already, so it's already merged. The code is already merged. Humble just updated the cap to say 1.25 instead of 1.24. That is merged. So yeah, we're done with this one.
Nice. So now the following work is just like doc.
Yeah.
Doc.
Docs, right? Yeah. Even that one. Yeah, I think he has some PR submitted already last time, so he can, revive that.
That's great. Then the next one, transfer volume snapshot between namespaces?
Yeah, so so I reviewed the not this one next because there's a dependency between this and this other provision number 4, right? Yeah, so if we are, I think number 4 is more promising. So if we are good with 4, then we don't really need to do 3. The 3, we have a lot of unresolved issues with the secrets, like how do you move secrets between namespaces? That's the main problem. But with 4, we don't have that, right? So, so Ben, can you also review that? That's because it's going to develop a data, a data populator, a volume populator for that one, for this.
The snapshot transfer or the
number four provision. Don't look at the transfer, just provision volume from cross namespace. Yeah, so now it's actually it's basically developing a populator, and it also uses the what do we call that, the reference, what do you call that again, the one from the gateway API, there was this reference object or something object.
Oh, the reference policy
right,
that we were looking at for Cozy.
Right.
Oh.
So he uses that one plus
okay.
popular. That was actually coming from when we were reviewing the volume snapshot, that transfer. This was coming from that one. So he actually did write up the whole thing. I think it's promising. I think it's better than 3. There were also, of course, zero concerns, but you take a look. And
but has it been reviewed by like SIG security and SIG Arch? Because that was the whole thing when we were looking at it for Cozy, was like it was proposed by the gateway, by the network team. But like I don't know if it ever.
It's Alpha 2. Yeah, it's Alpha 2. So I asked him if he has also talked to that team, because they did an Alpha 2, right? Not sure what is the current status. So that's something that I was asking him. I have not seen. I think he replied. I have not. Look at his comments, Masaki. I asked him about that one. I also that's a little unsure. Right? I'm not sure the status of that. That's Alpha API. So we are basically working on something depending on Alpha API as well, right? So, but take a look of the other parts. Let's say he of course still needs to get answers for those, but just let's say assume those teams are okay with that, and then you're okay with those other parts. It looks more promising than number 3, because number 3 we have some unresolved issues. Right.
Okay. Yes. So then, Ben, if you have time, please take a look about this cap. And you mentioned probably need security. 6 there is 6. I don't know if there is called 6 security or not. Some people
I don't know if the 6 the 6 security, there's also 6 off. I'm not sure about this one, but I that's the one thing I was not quite clear on the status of that one, the reference policy, because that's also that's an Alpha 2 feature. We even Alpha 2 right now. So if it's beta, then we'll feel better. But yeah. And also, since this belongs to SIG networking, right? So if we're using that one, we'd better let them know, because if otherwise they change it, then I need something that is gone, right? So that's the thing.
Well, I don't think we would directly use one of their APIs unless it had been taken over by
that proposal. That's what in this proposal. Take a look at. That's what I'm saying. Take a look, review this, and then you can add your comments there. Yeah.
Okay, so again, I think there are probably some new API, and we need,
Yeah, it's a API defined by SIG networking, basically the CRD. Also, it's not entry one, right? Entry one, feel it's maybe more certain, but this is also a CRD. So we are kind of not sure if they change it, then what. So that's the thing. It's also still alpha stage, right? So those are the things we need to think about during the review. So.
Okay, yeah, this seems have a little bit risk, but I think we can at least take a look. The next one, CSI differential snapshots for block volumes.
Right. So that right now they basically talked about that in there was a CSI implementation meeting last week. So we talked about it there. I think the main concern, I think those concerns were there actually even in the beginning. Basically, it's the we could potentially have a lot of change blocks that we are trying to stuff in the status field, which could be a problem for the API server. So they are now considering something else. It's using a service. So that's basically they are basically still working on the design, trying to get some more details sorted out. Yeah, so it's in progress.
Okay, so the concerns about lots of what?
So there could be performance issue if if your status field, if you're adding too many, API object, if you have the size easily, right?
Okay.
You could have a lot of change blocks, so that's the concern.
I see.
That's always
okay.
a concern, actually. So yeah,
yeah. Let's wait to have more design discussion. And the next one, ephemeral. Oh, sorry, I actually put the wrong. So this is handled by SIG node. I think they just still updating the cap. I will help to take a look. And the one I was thinking about is this. I was preparing the cap for promote local ephemeral storage capacity isolation. It's almost kind of at least halfway done. I will try to submit it by this week. I think that the deadline for submit cap or approved by next week.
I don't think there was a deadline for submit cap, no, but there is a deadline for PRR, right? You need to get the PRR review done, right? So I think we have that one here. When is that? I believe it's actually coming. Let's see. What is PRR? Oh, sorry, I'm looking at the wrong one. 1. Oh, we didn't copy it. Okay, I was looking at 1.24. Yeah. 1.25. Okay, what is 1.25? 1.25 PRR. Okay, yeah, June 9th. So it's is that next week? Or do we still have one more? Yeah, it is next week.
Yes, yes.
Okay, so yeah, so PRR is next week, and then the cap merge, that is 16th, June 16th. Okay, so that's also not too far away. Yeah, 2 weeks. Okay. Yeah. So in 1 week, PRR, 2 weeks. Yeah, so add this one.
All right.
I'll copy this one there instead of.
I copied.
Okay. Yeah, let's just remove 1.24. Confused.
Okay, and the next one. Is non-graceful node shutdown.
Yeah, so I submitted the cap. I update the cap, basically fill out those information. I assigned to Eugene and Command, if you can take a look.
Okay. Sure. I will
add a link.
Yeah, I'll take a look.
Okay, I should probably. Okay, I will add a link later.
And the next one, support recovery from volume expansion failure. Hemant.
I'm working on updating the cap for some details about what Michelle wanted. Basically like Michelle wanted to at least see if we can restore the size all the way back to the original size. And currently the limitation is that you can only restore to like something that is greater than. So I'm just working on the design.
Okay.
The PRR and all we did for beta last time, it has all that stuff there, but I think I need to update the milestone, so I'll do that as well.
Okay, sounds good. The next one, PV health monitor.
Going to beta, so I also updated the cap. Looks like we actually already filled out most of the information for PRR last time because it was initially going to beta, right? So that's good. So it's actually, I only need to do some small updates there. So command, I assign that to you. So if you can help take a look.
Okay. Sorry, I'll take it.
Okay, thank you.
The next one, CSI inline volume support.
Yeah, thanks, Jing, for your review on my bug fix PR. I'll get that updated today. And then I also need to update the KEP with the new template.
Okay. Sounds good. Thank you.
Template is they added a test plan section, right? But other than that, it should be the same, isn't it?
I think that's right. Yeah.
Okay, all right.
Okay, so we already talked about the next one, and then the allow Kubernetes supply paths FS group to CSI driver on mount. Yang, you are the reviewers.
Well, I don't know.
Yeah,
I guess we
think,
will need to update the cap, and yeah, we'll poke Fabio.
yeah. Also, I think we need to update the CSS spec. We kind of had a broad agreement in the CSI community thing to get this thing GA. So I'll work on that. But yeah.
So you mean if we need to update the CSS spec?
Yeah, like ideally, if you want, this feature depends on the CSS spec change. So that CSS spec that changes alpha. So we want to move it to GA when we're moving the corresponding Kubernetes feature to GA, because we don't want something GA in Kubernetes to depend on something that's alpha in CSI spec.
Oh, okay, okay. So right now the CSS spec change is considered as beta.
It's
It's
experimental,
alpha.
right? So what is the, I forgot, what do you have? Is that alpha? I didn't
It's
remember that.
alpha.
Oh, okay.
It's alpha. There's no beta in CSS spec.
Right, right, yeah.
Oh. So how we identify as alpha spec?
And there was a tag. That's we have that one for Boarding House as well, right? So yeah.
Yeah.
Actually now okay, then we need to change it. Okay, now you reminded me. Can you add that next to Boarding House? I don't think I did that last time. Okay, need to change that one. Boarding House also has some field that is alpha.
Yeah, I think it would be.
But it's beta, so it's better. It's not GA. So, but I think it's still, we could probably move that to GA now. I think. Yeah.
Okay. Then yeah, like this requires someone to approve too, right? From the CSI.
Yeah, SAD will. Yeah.
Okay. And maybe we can talk on the SIG storage meeting about it. And then the next one, always honor persistent volume reclaim policy.
This one, yeah, we're staying alpha.
Okay, and the next one, staying alpha 2.
Right.
I think then I think last time we talked about default storage class proposal by Yang.
Yeah.
Do you have an update?
Yes, we agreed that we will change the behavior in backwards slightly backwards incompatible way. So I run that by Michelle. She kind of agrees, but she wants a cap for that. So we have a feature gate.
What?
We have a cap, and we go through alpha, beta, GA, because if it breaks somebody during beta, we can still roll it back. It falls into the same category as the always honoring the reclaim policy.
Yeah, that's also actually it's really a bug, but yeah,
it's like
to be safe,
on
right?
the edge between. It's on the edge between feature and bug, so we will do a cap for that. I hope we will catch the PRR review. We'll see.
Okay.
I thought we have 2 weeks, but now we have just 1 week.
Have you submitted issue yet? So then the enhancement issue.
Yeah. Well, okay.
Yeah,
I will add issue.
We should add this to the spreadsheet. The release team has that spreadsheet. Can you add this one there?
Sure.
So the good thing is it's a very small change, right? So even
Mhm.
though we implement as a feature, but it's a kind of a small, very small feature. The
I
main
hope
thing.
so.
Oh yeah, okay. Then hopefully we have enough time to go through this, and we should like promote this soon from like alpha immediately go to beta GA as soon as possible, so people can start using it. The next one, handle per volume CSI driver capabilities. We discussed some. Oh no, Ben, you set up a meeting about this, right?
Yeah. I wanted to say we have a meeting on Tuesday, the 7th.
Okay.
I need to create a Google Doc and link it from the invite, and so people can start posting ideas there and we can start taking notes. But so
Okay.
actually, Xing, let's do that together after this meeting. Get the Google Doc set up.
Sure.
And I just want to remind everyone who's interested in that subject, please come to that meeting, because that's sort of going to be the kickoff where we're going to lay down the initial requirements and brainstorm what could or could not make progress here.
Yeah, definitely. Sounds good. Okay, great. Thanks.
Ben, do you want to start a Google Doc for this so that we can like jot down some thought before the meeting?
That's what I just said. Yes.
Sorry.
Yeah, I promised to do it like last week and it didn't happen, so I'm going to do it after the meeting today. And Xing, please keep me honest.
Okay, helping you.
Yeah.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you. Then let's go back. Finally, go to the. Oh, you move it to next meeting.
No, that's today.
Oh, that's today. Oh,
I
sorry.
initially added for today is already June, right? I initially added for Monday, but we don't. We cancel meeting on Monday because it's a holiday, right? Yeah.
For a moment, I kind of.
Right.
So
maybe okay. Maybe it's easier like if I can share this one. And also,
Okay.
I don't know why your screen is so wide. I only see this very little thing in the middle. Okay.
Then should I change something? I don't know.
I don't know. I don't know. This is like wide screen. Like you have two screens or something. Is that?
Yeah, I do.
Oh, if
Yeah,
you
I
can, if you can stop sharing. Yeah, I mean, I think that's why. I don't know if you can get it to be just in one screen. Then that'll be. Oh, why it says you are still sharing? Oh, okay. Can you? I'll continue. I think it should be fine. Yeah, I think when you have two screens, you just think about it. I'm seeing your two screen on my one screen. That's what happened. It looks really very small, long but small.
Okay.
Even the video come out like that. It's funny. Okay. All right. Yeah. So I basically, updated the reason I put it in the Google Doc is because this is different from the CAP that had been reviewed. And then the main difference is I added a second object because I think we also need to support this, the pre-provisioned case. So for that reason, for volume group, I added a volume group content, but naming convention just to follow the snapshot. And then for volume group snapshot, we also added a volume group snapshot content. So that's the main difference between this and the the one that we had reviewed before. Another thing is I'm trying to for the first phase, I'm trying to not to support everything that we say we want to support in here, because I feel when we're reviewing this, we get more and more requirements and the CAP just getting keep extending. So maybe we can say phase one, that's for this phase two, we can add something. Then let's see if we can get agreed on a smaller one, but still it's not that small, right? You just look at all the number of we have basically have 6. Is that 6? Yeah, 6, right? So basically for volume group content, volume group class, and then volume group snapshot class. So this is also I added this one because I thought maybe follow the convention, and initially we don't have this. So I also added a volume group snapshot class just to be consistent since we are doing this, Okay, now, okay, so then let's just look at this.
So before you talk about the API, could we quickly go over the goals,
Yeah, so I basically, okay, maybe I should just the goals is here. I didn't add the goals. I was changing that. So this is in the old. So the goals is have an API to manage multiple volumes together in a group. Have an API to take a snapshot of a group of volumes. So this one says to be determined because this was like for the volume placement. That's like not really in the immediate goal. So that's why this one has this to be determined here. So it's not going to be, definitely not going to be in the phase 1, not even phase 2, right? Because this is supporting a different use case. And then this another goal base is just hoping this one is generic and extensible so that maybe we can support some other features in the future. What I have in mind is like replication, right? So we are initially will support consistent group snapshot, but we can use the same volume group to support group replication in the future. So that's the goal. Non-goal is, yeah.
Oh, I'm just want to confirm, like basically it's one main goal is for taking snapshot of a group of volumes.
Right. So just hoping to have the API flexible enough so we can add that. So we can look at the API and so that should be possible. Yeah, so the non-goal is saying right now we're not supporting replication group, but that's in the future. I think that's the non-goal. And maybe we should also talk about, how do we want to use the group, right? Before we go to the details, or do you want to do that? I think the use cases have a lot of use cases, but I was maybe just look at how do we want to create a group snapshot. Let's see, do we have, okay, create a volume group flow, right? So I'm thinking in phase 1, we just support, we create a empty group first. Then we can create each individual volume with group ID, which will add a volume to the already created group. Is that clear? So basically, you create an empty group first that has no volumes, and then you create a new volume, provided that volume. So basically, create a PVC, provide that PVC with a group ID, and that will create a new volume, and in the same time adding that to the group. This is one way of creating a volume group. Okay, and then so this, I just this one was in the cap, but I thought it's just can we do this in phase 2? Otherwise, it's just too many things in one cap. Basically, we also want to support creating a volume with creating a group with existing volumes, either with a list of PVCs or using a selector. So this is in the cap that was reviewed. So I was just thinking, can we just like settle down one thing first and then move on to the next? But yeah.
One thing I want to clarify is eventually, right, you want to use this volume group to take a group snapshot, and the driver can support taking a group snap like.
So that's why that's a capability, right? So that's why there was a CSI side, there are capabilities, right? So they need to support it, right? So that's a capability. Just like snapshot is a capability, this will also be a capability, CSI capability.
So what capability, like exactly, like for example, right now, which driver already have this capability, and or
driver
is
already have this capability, for example, but that's a new capability we're going to add in the CSI driver, right? So I know that like, for example, Dell EMC, Pure, HP, they can all support it, right? So there are 30 vendors can already support that.
Oh, okay.
Right. So
So the issue with things like using groups in a generic way to both enable things like group snapshots and group replication is that the more generic you try to make it, the harder it actually is to support it in practice, because a lot of times, you know, you'll have a driver that can, like, so I'll use NetApp for example, because I'm familiar with it. NetApp can absolutely take a group snapshot, but only if all the constituent volumes like fall within a certain boundary, right? And like our driver is set up such that it can span multiple controllers. And if as long as all the volumes are on the same controller, it's no problem to take a group snapshot of them. But the moment you have different volumes on different controllers, you can't take a group snapshot of them. And the problem is that something like Kubernetes doesn't know the difference. So you'd end up in this weird situation where, like, for some groups, the group snapshot would work, and for other groups, it wouldn't work, and it would all depend on the members of the group. And just trying to have a generalized object that says, you know, this is a group of volumes, and you know, and it can or cannot take group snapshots isn't really going to communicate the reality of the situation, right? You almost need a very specific construct for snapshot groups or volume groups for the purpose of taking snapshots, with a very specific notion of like what can be in it, or whether a particular grouping is snapshotable. And it's going to be different from implementation to implementation, I'm afraid. I just can't imagine a situation where one common abstraction like solves all of the problems, because you know, by trying to make everything fit the same abstraction, you end up just pushing the problems to another level. You know, these questions.
we also talked about that. We also want to, you know, I know that some storage systems, they cannot really like having one group support both things, like both the replication or both snapshots, right?
Yes.
But some could. So we also talked about like when a volume, I'm not sure if it's in here, but when a persistent volume, let's say we add that to a group, but it could also be added in multiple groups. We're talking about that. That would probably
questions like
how you form the group.
Well, yeah, questions like, are the groups mutable? Can you add new members and subtract members after the group is created?
Can so that, yeah, overlap? So that will be definitely allowable, right? Because that's actually something for the block storage. That's something that's what they can do, is to modify the group, right? So,
well, I mean, there's use cases where you want it, but what I'm saying is, like, if the higher level abstraction allows it, that means that any implementation that is unable to provide that just can't do it at all.
Right, but that's the same thing with where we have this, you know, all the CSI capabilities, right? It's not the same across all. If it's the same, then why in CSS Spec we have capabilities at all? Look at how many capabilities we have, because not all can support the same thing, right? So that's something we want to pick out.
I'm just thinking for Ben's like a concern. I definitely agree. But Ben, is that possible? For example, the driver puts all kinds of labels that can help to identify like whether they can belong to the same group or not. So
I worry you would end up with dozens of very fine-grained capabilities, and ultimately I think even if you could get it right and you could have like the 18 different capabilities that actually matter in terms of what you can and can't do, you would end up with a solution that's not portable, right? Because then anything that develops on top of that would work for like one particular vendor.
How is this different from all the existing capabilities we have in CSS Spec today, right? This is another capability that is.
Well, I feel like the capabilities we have are very prescriptive and simplified. They're not flexible, right? Like a snapshot only does one thing, right? It creates a thing that you can clone volumes from and nothing else.
What I get your concerns is if we want to say this group can support both snapshotting and replication, you think that could be a problem? Is that
Yeah,
the main concern?
like if we want snapshot groups and we want replication groups, my intuition is it's better to have two different kinds of groups.
Okay.
And to not
So I
try to
think
make
that-
them the same.
I think that should be fine as well, right? So basically, because we're saying, but that does not prevent us from implement this one to be more generic, right? Because we can have a capability in, like the group class can have something saying, okay, this one supports consistent group snapshot, and then we have another one supporting replication group or something. We can say, you cannot have both or something. That's something we can discuss, right? So this way,
I'm just foreseeing situations where, like, you create a group of volumes and you have an operation that's supposed to add a volume to the group, and whether that's going to succeed depends entirely on what volume it is. And that's just a really weird.
But that,
and you could have a capability, but it's going to be confusing to an end user. They're going to say, well, why can I add this volume to the group and not that volume to the group? It's not going to be obvious.
Well, but that's the same thing, right? Just still the same thing as, for example, volume expansion, snapshotting. If your driver does not support it, you do not have it. That's the same thing, right?
No, I think the problem that Ben is saying is that it's per volume versus like the plugin wide capability.
So you're saying this one may be also related to the thing that we're going to discuss about the per volume capabilities. Maybe definitely for the volume group. When I was implementing this one, my previous project.
But
for file and
not just that, but moreover, like because you're adding this, like a user can take like different kinds of volumes and kinds of volume and try to add them to volume groups. So it's
that's the thing. That's something that we need to.
No. It's a capability that deals with more than one type of volume, and that's kind of hard to describe in CSS Spec, if that makes sense.
So that's why I'm saying each volume, right? Volume has kind of label or tag or like kind of similar, let's say, topology. Basically, you have some information can represent the volume.
I totally believe we could enumerate all the capabilities and the system could expose them and obey whatever rules need to be obeyed for it to actually work. My concern is at the end of all that, the end user is going to say, like, wow, this is really like weird and non-portable and hard to understand, right? Even if we could get it right, you're not going to have a situation where you can do a write once, run anywhere kind of an an application that consumes the feature. Because it's going to be like only if all the stars align and you have these 12 capabilities was the application going to work. And that's only true for exactly one storage vendor, because all the other ones work a little bit different.
Well, that's not the case, right? It's not just for one storage vendor, right? We do have quite a few vendors who actually want to have this feature, right?
So we would like to have the feature in general. What I'm saying is, I worry that the exact way that it works on NetApp might be different enough from the exact way it works on some EMC box that it like.
Well, but we have already
that you can't use the same implementation on both.
So we have already implemented this one for other projects, right? So I know this is doable, right? So there are definitely limitations. We can work through those and try to make it more clear. Right, we can think about like how to make it easier. Definitely, I definitely there are it's complicated. There are definitely possibility for making mistakes, and we need to think about how to solve those. Right, I probably should actually I did not write notes. I should actually write those. Right, those are the concerns. Like definitely those are good comments. Like how do you avoid confusion for the users? Right, how do they know? Okay, I can add this one to the group and not adding the other one to the group, right?
My personal preference is that like we would design the API with the end user's use case in mind, forgetting about which storage boxes can actually implement the specific pattern, but just like design the API that users would like to consume, and then say, okay, this is how we're going to do it. And then accept the fact that some storage controllers either can or can't match those exact semantics, but basically sort of force everyone into a box, which is what we did with snapshots, right? We said snapshots work like this. If your box does snapshots differently, that's just too bad, right? Like we're just going to define snapshots.
Saying that we're trying to make you're saying making it less generic, basically making.
Yeah, we need to be very prescriptive and
Uh-huh.
and have the focus on like how people would prefer to consume the feature, and then leave it up to the storage vendors to figure out how to make their box behave in the way that the feature is designed. And then
But
it becomes
comes
either
both ways, right? You can't just get the storage vendors out of the picture because they will need to implement this one. So we need both. I think we need both, right? So we want this one to be easier to consume, but we also want storage vendors to be able to support it. Otherwise, we design a feature and nobody implements.
It's no good to design a feature that no one implements, right? But
so we need both, right? So I think your points are taken, right? So we need both. Feedback from both.
And so in the motivation section, we do list a number of use cases.
Yeah, I do have I didn't, because we went through this one like tons of times already. So I didn't really, I just want to, that's why I directly want to dive into the API, but it's been a while, right? We can also,
I think we can go over
we can go over that next time. Yeah.
The user journey, like so make a bit more concrete user journey end to end.
Right, but if you're talking about user journey, just same as like volume snapshot, normally it's the API is used by a backend vendor. It's not, I mean, yeah, but user can use that, but normally it's really like a backup vendor using that feature, right? So thinking about that as well, it's not like normally someone just go there and try this out. It's possible, but just thinking about same as the volume snapshot that, like when we, try to implement that in our driver, like we write use cases, it's really like how does a backup vendor use that mainly that's the main user basically, right?
It's
so
mostly more useful by, let's say, system admin or storage admin doing the backup or
well, it's probably like in the, you have that in the backup software, right? So I think we're out of time now. So let me think about that and see. So we have use cases here, but maybe let's see if we can update those. We can go over that next time.
Yeah, make a concrete like one or two end to end instead of like many small ones, maybe. Yeah.
Okay.
All
right.
Okay. Thank you. Then see you next.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.